Hi, babes. Welcome back to the Chase Life with Kelly podcast. I am your host, Kelly Chase. Today's episode, or this week's episode, I am actually being interviewed by Taylor-Maland of the This Is Where We Heal podcast. I get deep, I get vulnerable. I know that I've shared parts of these stories before. I've shared a lot of these stories in the past on former episodes. And if you do watch other episodes or other shows where I have been a guest, yes, I have shared about these stories and parts of my life before. However, I believe I went a little bit deeper with her. And yeah, she just created such a safe space for me. So I hope that you really enjoy today's episode. Please feel free to DM me on Instagram or reach out on email. However, if you relate, if you resonate, and yeah, I really hope that this provides some healing for you as well as empowerment, to step into your voice and use your power again. Step into your power. Also, I just wanted to remind you that I do have private one-on-one coaching. I have launched my digital courses. You can find them in the show notes, or you can always DM me about those if you have interest in working with me in some capacity, in any capacity. I am really focused on my private one-on-one coaching right now, business and mindset coaching. But we do have the self-love and relationship courses. We have the money mindset, law of attraction, worthiness, as well as the online business accelerator, which is you know, uh, like a digital course creation, basically helping you to actually create courses and become a coach and launch your own digital courses, online programs, and high ticket offers as well. So I had to put that all out there because the mindset and the business together, that's what moves things. And, if you have some type of strategy, or let's just say, if you have some type of purpose and you want to create a passion project or start coaching and helping other people with it, this is a great place for you to start, is in the online business accelerator program. And then again, the money mindset, worthiness, law of attraction, manifestation course called Money Magnet, that is a wonderful source for anyone really, but really entrepreneurs, growth minded, abundant minded people. And of course, our rejection to redemption program, which is self love and relationships, dating, putting in, like, implementing healthy boundaries, really choosing yourself, loving yourself, what that looks like, and shifting the energy inside of you so that you begin to attract the right type of person, the type of person that you want to be with. But this doesn't stop there. When you start to shift the energy within, you are increasing your self-love, you're increasing your worthiness, and you also start attracting soul aligned clients. There we go. There's the connection of relationships and business. And that's what we want. We want to attract soul aligned clients. So without further ado, I hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and sending you all much love. Thank you.
I have a special guest. Her name is Kelly Chase. You probably recognize her from a show called Love is Blind. Kelly was a contestant on season one, and we actually connected on Instagram. And just following her journey on there, I felt like she would have so much wisdom and healing truth to provide to the listeners today, just based on her own journey and her own healing journey and the things that she has overcome in the last several years that I just think are really incredible and profound. And so I am so happy to have you today. Thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely. Thank you. I mean, it's yes, connecting with you on Instagram. I've been watching your stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
so vulnerable. I just love people who can be vulnerable online because that takes courage and,
yeah.
you know,
It's hard. It is hard at first. And then eventually you go, you know what? Why do I care so much what people think?
right. No, no, exactly. And it's interesting because it's like, it's like I don't care what the like what everybody else, but it's like your family, friends, the people
Yes.
you like. I remember years ago, I shared, I mean, I've always been very vulnerable online, but something probably just like ruffled their feathers or something. But they're like, people would like text me, like, "Are you okay? Like, sounds like you're going through like a lot. Like, are you like,
Uh,
real? Like." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just was sharing a part of my heart," you know?
Literally
I'm okay.
exact same thing. That was the hardest part for me. I mean, there's a million other things we'll talk about
Right.
when it comes to that, but
Yeah.
my family, and I love them dearly, but they were like, "We just don't get it. Like, we just don't understand why you're doing this. Why are you telling people these things? Like, it's just it makes us uncomfortable." And I'm like, "I'm really sorry, but like I'm not gonna stop doing it just because you think it's weird." Like, I
Right,
just
yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's definitely been conversations, yeah, that I've had multiple times.
and eventually but it's good because you kinda go it's kind of like one of those leaps forward in life where you go, "Oh, you know what? I don't have to please my family with every single thing that I do."
Yeah, yeah.
You know? Not that they're bad, but
I know,
anyway.
I know.
So I want to talk about your journey because
Yeah.
obviously you were on that show, Love is Blind, and I recognized you from that. Not at first. At first, I was like, why does she look so familiar?
Yeah, I get
And then it hit me.
that a lot.
And then it hit me. I was like, oh my God. She was my Sam. So my best friend Sam and I, we watched the first season and we were like waiting for it. And you were our favorite person on the show.
Oh,
You
wow.
were literally our favorite person on that show that season.
I
And
love
so
that.
yes. So when I realized who you were, I was like, "Oh my god, she was my favorite." So I was so excited, but
I love it.
yeah.
How did you discover me?
Well,
Well, I
I
mean,
don't even know.
no, but, like, regrouping on Instagram, I guess. Like, how did we circle?
Oh, you know what it was? I had made a post at some point and I saw your name and I thought and the same thing, I was like, "Why does that sound familiar?"
Yeah.
And so I think I went and looked at your profile and and then I realized who you were after because I was going, "Why does she look familiar?" She said and I was just trying to put the pieces together. And
Yes.
then I was like, "Wait a minute." So I must have reached out to you or something. I don't even remember.
No, 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 it was me. It was me. I initiated.
Oh, okay.
So I shared I must have, like, maybe something of yours came up on a search page, or maybe something of yours was shared by someone that I follow, and I screenshotted one of your, like, quote, like, post, and shared it I
Oh,
shared it in one of my posts because it resonated and I tagged you in it. To give
that's
you
what it
credit. Yeah, to
was.
give you credit, and I was like, "I don't know who she is, but I liked what she said."
Oh, thank you. Thank you for giving me credit too, because some people steal your stuff and then but anyway, story for another day.
Yeah.
Um, but so I don't want to like talk just about the show. Obviously, that was like a turning point in your life for you. But I know you talk about it all the time. And for me, what I really want to get down to is like the process of becoming who you are now
Yeah.
and the turning points in your life that led you to the place you are now because now you are a holistic and like healing coach
Mhm.
and you're very much into health and wellness and inspiring other women and encouraging other women to be their most authentic selves and that's what I really love about you.
Thank you.
And so I want to focus on that and I want to focus on the things that matter to you
Mhm.
and the things that have happened in your life that you feel like were the things you overcome to be who you are now.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Where do I begin?
I know, right? Where do you begin? Obviously, you were a human before the show ever came around, so we could start there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest event that I, know to be that was so very impactful for my life. And it kind of, I mean, I don't know your full story, but just what I've, seen and heard a bit of your post, like a toxic relationship, abusive relationship. So I experienced in college basically a friends with benefits situation that went south real quick.
Mm,
And again, we were not in a relationship. We were just friends and,
mhm,
um, but it got to well, we wound up going on like a trip together and it's interesting. Um, I remember my mom saying something like, "Wait, this guy wants to like take you on a vacation, like just the two of you? Like, are you sure like he's just your friend?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
mhm.
he's just my friend." I just, I will say this to preface it. I guys, and I did it in college. I did it after college a little bit, but I want to say like no, high school, college, guy friends that I was very close with, I definitely like friend zoned because you have this mentality of like, well, if you date and something happens, they're not your friend anymore. And you like,
Amen.
you love them so much as a friend, right? So
Yep.
it was a very similar situation. I did. I loved being around this person. He was fun. He was goofy. But yeah, I decided I was like, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll go on the trip. And we wound up being intimate, and not to say that I didn't want to or I didn't, but I wasn't like. I do remember saying like, I don't think this is a good idea.
Mhm.
Something along the lines of like, "No," but then I was kinda talked into it, and
Mhm.
which okay, but also not,
Right, right.
and so, yes, it was consensual, but, like, also not.
Been there.
The words that came out of my mouth versus how my body felt, 2 different things,
Yeah.
yeah, so, I mean, but regardless, I mean, we, like, got back from the trip, and he's like, "It's like, we're fine," like, basically, like, being friends with benefits is totally fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I had never had that kind of situation before. Like, I mean, if I'm hooking up with someone, I like them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, I mean, I don't think we ever like actually hooked up after that point, but it got very intense. Again, it was in college. We were in a very big party school, and drinking was definitely a player in a lot of this. We would be out. He would come up to me, call me all kinds of names in front of other people and even insult very embarrassing to the point like there were guys that would be talking to me and like mutual friend guys, not like
Mhm.
gums. And he'd be like, "What are you gonna go home and like come tonight?" Like, and I'm like, and the
Oh.
guys would be like, "Whoa, bro, like, I'm just talking about chemistry class, like, what's happening?"
Right, right.
Like, "No." But it continued to escalate, he got in fights with, like, high school friends of mine, it became very stalkerish,
Oh, wow.
he would be like yeah, like, would show up at my house to try and talk things through, and I'm like, "There's nothing to talk about at 4 o'clock in the morning," like, you know,
Oof.
it was bad, and then it got to a point where, um well, basically, I kind of had, like, a crying wolf situation in a sense of, like, I would things like, it would happen one night and then the next day he would call and say like, "Hey, can we talk about things? I'm really sorry, just come over." And so I would come over, and this happened multiple times, but you don't learn your lesson because you're so stuck in it and you're like you knew the person before. So
Right.
keep expecting them to like be okay and like everything go back to the way it was. And you give the excuses of like, oh, we were just drunk, like blah blah blah.
Yep.
But basically I would get over there and there would be the apology and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, can I go now, And then no. He's like, no, like let's continue to talk, whatever. And he would wind up whether I'd like turn my head or go to the bathroom or something, and I'd come back and like my purse was hidden or my keys were gone, like missing off the coffee table. And I'm like, dude, like, where's my purse? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay. Like, well, you're the only other person here unless a ghost took it. like, so at the end of the day, I had to, like, felt that I had to do some type of something sexual in order to get out of that situation. No one knew that. I mean, I literally told 3 of my best friends recently that story, and this was 20 years ago.
Wow.
They knew a lot of what was going on, they just didn't know that part of it because it was
Mhm.
very embarrassing and shameful, and it's like, "Okay, you keep doing it?" Like, 'cause it was, like, multiple times, and I'm like, "Oh," and of course, that kind of created some, like, sexual trauma around
Yes.
things and, like, how I
Yeah,
it's
because you
it's
were
almost
being
like
coerced to do something, and that was the only thing you knew to do to get you back to a safe
correct.
space,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like, even I mean, having boyfriends since then and, just being intimate with other guys since then, it's really interesting, but like, I get more turned on when they, like, orgasm because I'm like, "I did it." yay, I can go now,
Mhm.
Like, but it's like really fast. Anyway, I'm assuming there's a connection there. I don't know. But I just feel there's like this like achievement thing, like
Yeah.
it happens. But anyways, yeah, so like that continued. And then there was this one point, my girlfriend and I went to like a after hours party. I wasn't drinking, I actually drove my car, and there were some of our guy friends outside. She went ahead and inside into the apartment and immediately like walks back out and like or pokes her head back through the door, and she was like, so and so's here, and like yelled it. And as soon as like here came out of her mouth, he like ran down the stairs and just full throttle like pushed me down in front of people. Well, it didn't matter if it was in front of people or not, but like in front of people. And like all the 6 guys that were outside, like everyone just froze. Like they were like, dude,
Yeah,
he was
in
a
shock.
he was a big guy. So like I think there was probably some fear, like, we can't like beat this guy up kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
everybody was like, what the hell, dude? Like that wasn't cool. Like talking really like calmly to him. And obviously, like, I had scrapes on my hands and my knees and just extremely embarrassed, but hurt and just what just happened,
confused. Yeah.
confused. So someone like took my purse just because they were like, go inside, like just, to help me up. They like took my purse, whatever. Uh, Someone gave him my car keys. I don't know how. Don't know how. I got my purse back. My keys weren't in them. So he took my car. The next day he came back to that party. Me and my girlfriend stayed the night at the friend's house whose house party it was because we were just shooken up and everything. And he like kind of broke into that person's house to be like, I just need to talk to her. And like we were like, what? And the guy was like, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah,
Like
thank
you are
God.
trespassing at this point. Like get out. So later on, my girlfriend and I, we went and met him to go get my car, and my windshield had a big shatter mark in it, like he had punched. He says, "Oh, I took it to the car wash to clean your car for you." I was like, "No, you punched the inside of my windshield. Like, had to have. There was no other."
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, that could have been my face.
Yes,
Yeah.
and very likely would have been.
Yeah. So, I got my car, and at this point, like, okay, so my parents did know kind of some of the stuff that was going on because, like, there were times like he would call because again we were friends beforehand, so I don't remember how they had each other's numbers, but I'm sure my parents were like at some point like, oh, if we ever need to like get in touch with him, you can't, we can call him, that kind
Mhm,
of thing.
mhm.
And so, but he would call them like when we were out at the bars, and we had a lot of mutual friends too. So he'd be like, Kelly's hanging out with me. And like call them at like 1 o'clock in the morning to like tell them like she's the problem too. Like she keeps doing it. Like she's hanging out with me. And I'm like, well, not technically. I was like at the bar, but yeah, whatever. Okay. All right. But anyway, so they were definitely like, you cannot like stop seeing this person. Like if you continue, we are going to move you back home and you can finish out your senior year back home with us. And I was
Mhm.
like so terrified of that. Like I was like, no, like I am loving college. Like I do not want to leave at all, minus this fiasco.
Right,
But
right.
I loved everything else about it. And so when the windshield broke, he was like, I can call one of those services to like come and do it like at your house, like to
Mhm.
an at home window repair. And because I was like, I can't call my parents to tell them that this happened. They'll yank
Right.
real quick.
Yeah.
And I probably only had a few more weeks left of college anyways, but regardless. So anyways, I went back over. I did not go in the house this time. I was like, absolutely not, call the service. Like this is what is happening. And they did. The service came and I just stood outside. And then I was like, cool, well, I'm gonna go. And he like gets in the passenger seat with me and like starts to, and I was like, dude, fine. Like, you'll just go with me. And I was like, where am I going to go? I don't know. Like, in my head, I was like, maybe I'll go to like a guy friend's house. So he'll be forced to like, confront with the guy. I have no idea, another guy. I have no idea. Or I was like, am I going to drive to the police station? I don't know what I'm going to do. But I started to drive up and I was like, get out of my car. Like, so I
Mhm.
parked in this little like clubhouse parking spot and there was a guy landscaping on this little like hill. And I kept like looking over at him, like, I need help kind of thing.
Mhm.
And eventually, like, he did kind of approach the window, like, one time or, like, approach the car and was like, "Are you guys okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, everything's fine, sir. Like, you she's just being emotional girl kind of thing." And I'm like, "No, I am not. Like, I no, I'm not. Like, we're having a situation here." And the guy was like, "Alright, well, I'm gonna be right here." And I was like, "Thank God." Like, the guy didn't, like, leave or anything, but he
Wow.
started to like, I went to get out of the car one time, and he, like, pulls my hair back into the car, but pulled me back into the car and, like, grabbed my wrist, grabbed my thighs really hard, and that's when the guy, like, came over, and he was like and he acted like he was gonna call the cops, and he I don't know if he did, but he was like, "I'm calling the police. You need to, like, get out of her car and leave her alone." And so it scared him, and he went off, and that was pretty much the last time that I saw him because I did call my parents and we got the police involved. And like they
Wow.
went, probably within 24 hours. So I did have not like serious bruises, but there were bruises on my arms and my thighs. And it was really
Oh my gosh.
a whole like restraining order type of situation. Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys called because those are the types of situations that unfortunately most women end up in and ends up being a homicide case because you think to yourself, this person is obviously capable of hurting me, but they would never,
Yeah.
they would never go beyond, grabbing my arm. And then as it slowly escalates, you keep telling yourself, but they won't do this, but they wouldn't do that
Right.
because you feel like you have at least in some weird toxic way, some sort of bond with them where they wouldn't, but they always then cross the next boundary line, right?
Yes.
Until it's too late.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry you went through that.
Yeah.
I'm sure your nervous system was like a disaster
Oh, yeah.
for
Yeah, and it's interesting because I just, I mean, I've done, like, a little bit of therapy, like, but not necessarily, like, around that in particular.
Mhm.
When it all happened, my mom was like, "You are going to talk to someone." And so
Yeah.
I went to one therapy session, and maybe it was the way I heard the therapist, maybe, but she said, like, "Oh," and, like, "Why did you keep going back to him?" That would have been fine had she asked me that. The way I perceived it was like, "And you kept going back to him, like, with judgment?"
Mhm.
I left there. My mom was like, "So, did you book your next appointment?" I said, "No, I'm fine." And
Yep.
my mom didn't know at the time, she even like, we literally had this conversation last week because she was like, "I am so sorry, like, had I known how to handle these situations, I would have been like, well, maybe you didn't like that one, but let's find another one,' kinda thing."
Yeah.
But I just took
Right.
your word for it because you were so, like you were just mature and intelligent and, like, I thought you were okay. And, I mean, I will say, like, it affected my entire life, that I didn't unconsciously. I
Yeah.
mean, yesterday, I actually had a therapy appointment where I did address it, and I was and I told her, I was like, I've talked about it, but I've never really healed it, I don't believe." And
Right.
and it was funny because after I told her the story, she was like, "I want you to, like, sit here for a second and, like, tell me how you really feel about that because you just went into storytelling mode. You were not connected to that."
Uh-huh.
Like, because I'm like, there's sometimes I'll tell that story and I'll get emotional and I'll cry. Like, and then I did. I sat there for a second and I started to get upset. And she was like, "Okay, like, what are you feeling?" And I was like, sadness. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, now I'll do it again. Because I lost a friend so quickly and I didn't grieve at all. Like, it was like, okay, all that stuff happened. And it was like, okay, now you're graduating college and you go do your career and do all the things. And I was just autopilot for
Mhm.
nearly 15 years. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't start the whole personal development journey until I was 32, like literally 12 years later,
Yeah.
that I started to actually like date myself and tune inward. And, the first time I probably ever really talked about it again was with my first mindset coach in 2018, right after we got done filming Love is Blind.
Oof. But
So,
you also lost, like, any sense of safety with men or with male friendships, you know what I mean?
right. Yeah.
Because when you are betrayed in that way and a person that you did once trust and thought was safe becomes the complete opposite of that, especially over the course of time,
Right.
um, you start questioning it with every person you meet then from that point on, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and it was yeah. It was so interesting though, just, like, looking back, like, once I started the healing work to be like, "Wow." Like, I was just so disconnected from myself for so long
Mhm,
and just running literally on autopilot. Like, I just felt like I was
mhm.
a hamster wheel all the time, and of course, I date and have breakups, and then I had, like, a really what I thought thought I was maybe gonna marry the guy in, like, 2013, and, that didn't happen. I mean, he wound up cheating on me, it just and then I felt even more broken,
Yeah.
like and I was just, like, lost in a lot, like, drinking a lot to losing myself in men very quickly. I mean, I just never I mean, that's my that relationship right there is my last longest relationship, and that was over 10 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've been saying it's funny because like, when people talk about being, like, alone and single, I'm like, "Yeah, I get it." Like, if anybody gets it, I get it. Like, I mean
Right, and it's not because you don't have options. So
yeah,
let's be honest, you're a
exactly.
beautiful, successful woman,
Thank
like
you. Yeah. I mean, obviously, yes, I've dated, but a part of that journey was dating these people. I mean, I wasn't conscious of the ones, like, before I started my personal development journey, but, like, as I started, then I'm, like, healing those parts of me, but also, being faced with the patterns again, and, it's kind of like you can learn all this stuff, but until you're experiencing it again, it's like, "Okay, what's the true testament?" And, I was off and on with someone for, God, 5 years or something, like but I'm like, "Okay," I was going through all the Love is Blind stuff, like, my financial, like, income wasn't great, like, there's a lot of stuff, and my nervous system was a wreck, our emotions
Mhm,
are when our emotions are higher, our intelligence is low, and
mhm.
I just was, like, so erratic after we got done filming to, like, a year ago, more or
Yeah.
less, like, my nervous system just really needed a lot of repair and
Ugh,
consistency and
safety.
constant and safe, yeah, and it's like, "Oh my gosh," and I kept even with the person that I was off and on again, I was like, "Oh my god, like, when you're on the next time, could you show up, like, the
Yeah.
way I need you to be?" And it just wasn't, and I kept allowing it to happen 'cause, I kept, like, seeing the potential and not the reality, and I'm like, "Okay, Cal, like, although can I say, yeah, like, wasted time, but I also didn't, like, I'm really grateful for that experience because I knew I needed to heal that shit so that I didn't
Yes.
continue to do it the next time."
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
wow.
even believe in, like, the wrong person anymore. Like, I do believe that there's a person that is right for you,
Yeah.
right? Like, right fit for you, but I think every relationship that we go into literally teaches us something about ourselves that is necessary for our growth,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, absolutely. It is. I mean, I've learned so many lessons from that, and it's just I I don't know, I'm such, like, a gratitude person too. I'm like,
Yeah.
if I didn't experience that even I mean, I'm talking about a guy who pushed me down and broke my windshield and, like, I felt extremely trapped, and I'm like, I'm sad because I lost a friend. Like, not
But
like,
that's
"Oh, yeah,
real.
I'm pissed at this man," and, I never got over the anger, like, I really just never had the opportunity to, like, really grieve it.
Yeah.
It happened so fast, and it was like, "You're done." And it was,
Yeah.
like, interesting enough, like, when we got done filming Love is Blind, obviously not similar scenarios, but, like, a similar feeling in the sense it's like I got to know someone for you know, technically 8 weeks very intimately, and, like, he's gone, production's gone, everything's gone, and it was like, what is life right now?
Yeah.
Like, it was hard for me to grieve that as well. Again, I mean, I'm very glad that I hired the mindset coach when I did.
Mhm.
She definitely took me, into all of that. So it was very helpful, but
Well,
it's
sometimes we have to grieve what we thought would happen. Like, I mean, sometimes you're literally grieving the loss of what you had envisioned for yourself,
oh,
whether
for
it's
sure.
with a person or on your own. And like nobody talks about that because it sounds so petty, I guess you could say, but it is a loss, like
Yeah.
the life you envision with another person or that you thought they would be when they were in your life. Like it is a loss.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it definitely is. I think that's probably a bigger thing is like you grieve the potential
Yeah.
vision that you saw of them and it didn't work out. And so it's like, okay, like
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
it's hard. Yeah.
I think that one of the most pivotal moments of a woman's life is like you were kind of saying earlier that when you realize that the patterns that you have
Mhm.
pull you into these situations often. Like, it doesn't mean
Yeah,
you deserved it. It doesn't mean that person wasn't wrong for the ways that they showed up.
right.
But ultimately, our patterns are what bring us into those situations and allow it to even take place. Like, even with your situation, he was obviously abusive. He was obviously unstable. There was obviously many red flags, but you were so young. You were so naive at that point in your life. You were still learning like what relationship probably really even looked like in general.
Oh god, yeah.
And you know what I mean? And you didn't know your own patterns. You didn't know that empathy was wrong. You didn't know that trying to see the good in somebody was wrong. Like, and they're not wrong. Those aren't wrong things. But it's like when you haven't formed like set boundaries for yourself and learned that like, okay, certain behaviors are, even if they're forgivable,
Yeah,
I still have to separate myself now and I can't continue to tolerate it, right?
right. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it was like no one teaches you, how you become a woman and like the things that become of that, like the boundaries. I mean, I had dated a guy in high school, my senior year, and then freshman year of college, and that was my first relate. That was my first boyfriend, and we obviously ended it, and all this happened, 2 years later or something. But it, like, I didn't know.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
I
And
just
that set the foundation for you of what every relationship would then look like and the ways that you would show up,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like backing up to, when my first mindset coach, who I think because I went to her with my health coaching business and I was like
Mhm.
at the time and I was like, she was a business and mindset coach. I was like, I need help like getting this back on track since I just took like 8 weeks off from coaching anybody. I just really want to get dialed in. I feel like I could use some one-on-one support. And a lot of, people pleasing tendencies, behavior patterns came up. And she was like, when do you first feel when was like rejection a big thing for you?
Oof.
Because that was actually something that it was a question that was proposed to me from telling her a little bit more about the filming and the show and everything. And um, it's like they showed me saying no at the altar, but he also said no, and they just
Oh.
didn't show it. I know. I
What?
give out all the secrets. I ruin everything.
Ugh,
Uh,
that makes me so mad. That makes me so
well, I
mad.
know because
Ugh.
like
Yeah, you got the backlash for
I got
it.
a backlash for it. Yeah, and like a part of me kind of, it's like water under the bridge now, but like a part of me went like, bro, like you couldn't have like stood up for me,
True that.
you know? It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
true that.
It's fine. But yeah, he said no also. And but we knew that. We had talked about it. Like we both we
Wow.
were not gonna get married. And he and I talked about dating afterwards. Like this isn't we don't want to do this, but like we do want to do this. And
Yes.
I mean, I was literally it was the next day after the weddings. We had our like one-off interviews with production to close up the show and wrap it up and everything. And my interview was before his. Mine always was because I always was very vulnerable and I talked a lot and I shared all the things. And so they could use that against me to talk to him. Yeah. Like I know that that was like just their job and everything, but like I didn't understand. I didn't know that at the time.
Right, because again, the trusting factor, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it was interesting, but we had like 15 minutes in between my interview and his. He gets in my car, and this is just like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, maybe or a week before. And he's like, "How'd it go? What they ask you?" Blah blah blah. Blah. And then like 2 minutes before he had to go in for his interview, he's like, "So I know that we talked about not, or I know that we talked about dating after all of this. And I know that we kind of had tentative plans, like our families to do Thanksgiving together and all this stuff. Cause my parents and his parents loved each other. They loved each
Oh.
Yeah, it was really sweet. But he was just like, I don't think that I'm emotionally available right now. I want to like, I think I just need to like get back to things. And like in hindsight, I'm like, he was just very mature. Like he knew what
Yeah.
he needed to
Just
do.
being honest.
Yeah, he was just being honest with me, and I do appreciate it. Then I did not, but he was like, "I just need to get back to things. I'm very over this show, and unfortunately, you were a part of it." I will,
Oh,
like, never forget that line, like, until
wow.
part of it, and I was like I just was looking at him, like so, like, I'm confused. Wait, so, like, you just need, like, a few days? Like, what? And that was
Right.
it. And he goes to give me, like, a hug goodbye, and it was one of the like, it was so cold and different because, I mean, like, we were making out, like, they were, like we'd kiss each other goodbye, we'd say, "I love you," and he, like, turned his head away, like, when he gave the hug, and I was like, "Well, that was different," and he gets out of the car and, like, leans his head back in, has, like, a hand on the door, and he was like, "I mean, we'll talk," and I was just like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
I was so like, I didn't know how to process anything that
I don't even know how to process it as a listener.
I was like, "What?" So, anyways, yeah, I went and, like I just remember, like, leaving there, call my parents to just tell them, "Yeah, we wrapped the show, blah, blah, blah," and then they were like, "Okay, so, like, you and Kenny are gonna, like, do Thanksgiving," blah, blah, I was like, "I don't know. No, mom. He just kind of said, 'We're not gonna do that now,' and I don't know what just happened." They were
Mm,
like, "Wait, what?" So, I was just real hurt,
yeah.
real
Yeah.
hurt, and so my mindset coach I think I hired her, like, 3 weeks after, hired her, we dove into it, and she was like she asked me this very important question that I will never forget, and she was like, "Is the pain that you're feeling because you are so in love with this person that it hurts that bad, that he does not that he can't be with you right now? Or is it the pain of rejection?"
Mm,
And I was like, "Rejection?" I was like, because I mean, yeah, of course, I was, like, loving the man I was getting to know, but I wasn't in love with him.
right.
I just met him 7 weeks ago.
Right. I mean, in a way, you were, like,
Yeah,
infatuated, that whole thing.
yeah, I was definitely falling for him, and it all worked out. I mean, I'm so happy for him, and he has a baby on the way with his new wife and everything, like, so great. But yeah, I think and granted, the whole time that we were filming, I mean, production would ask me how I'm feeling, how am I feeling? I'm like, I don't know. Like my head and my heart just aren't connecting. And
Yeah.
that was aired. I do remember them airing me saying that a couple times, I think. But I was like, and so that's where I was like, no, like I know this isn't it.
Mhm.
Maybe or just not yet,
Yeah.
thing. And but yeah, like discovering that, and then we went into like, okay, so the rejection. When was the first time that you ever felt rejected in your life? And we went back to like when I was in preschool, and I had a situation where this little 4-year-old said I couldn't play with her and the other girls, and so like then that was, like, the evidence that, "Oh, there's, like, something wrong with me," right? Like, "What's wrong with me? Why don't you like me? What's wrong with me?" And then, as you mature and now you're liking boys and the boys don't wanna date you there's the pattern. "What's wrong
Yeah.
with me? What's wrong with me? There's
Yeah.
something wrong with me."
Oof. Yeah.
And that continued. I mean, probably and then I'm probably doing it to the guy because I didn't wanna be in a relationship with him, and then the situationship, you know?
Right. Right.
But even the person that I was in the 5-year off and on thing with, it's like the same thing. I'm like, "Why can't you just commit? I'm kinda awesome." Like, we would be really cool together, like, what's
Yeah.
wrong with me? And granted, because I had done so much work, I would say the second half of that back and forth was more me, like, I think I was just really holding on to the potential of it, although,
Yeah.
like, I knew. I'm like, "No, there's nothing wrong with me." Like, I know. But I did communicate that to him one time. I was like, "Your actions make me feel like there is because you won't show up for me the way I need you to."
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
so, like, when we're on our off time and you'll actually go date someone and there's pictures of y'all online and, like I'm like, "What the hell?" Like,
Yeah.
it was just not I mean, it obviously wasn't a healthy situation either, but I got to the point of just being like, "No, there's nothing wrong with me." And even, like, when I
Amen.
started all my coaching I mean, I've worked with so many different coaches over the last 6, 7 years now that at first, yeah, I felt like it was more of like, "What do I need to fix?" And the last year and a half, it's been more like, "We're not fixing you. We're just we're making enhancements to the already incredible person that you are."
Yeah. It's not what do I need to fix? It's like what parts of myself do I need to love now?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's been profound. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I
And
experience
when you start loving those parts, like it changes you from the inside out, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it And it has. I love
Oh,
I love little Kelly, and it's interesting too because like, my friends see it, they feel it too, and, I mean, I'm just so grateful for them, like, when I do receive the compliments, like, "Oh, you just seem so happy." Like, you've always been like,
oh,
even in your 20s when you so claim that you're on autopilot, like, you've always been a very happy-go-lucky spirited kind of person, but, like, I see I see
yeah,
there's a difference, and you're
yeah,
really happy, like, I mean, my one of my best friends, she's like, "Kel, like, I know you're looking, you want the man, you want the boyfriend kind of thing." She's like, "But you really are so fulfilled in work, like career, family, friends, like you're traveling a good bit, like you are really fulfilled." And I was like, "I really am." And she was kind of later in her life in her early 40s before she met her person. And she was like, she goes, "I swear it's just right around the corner because that's how it was for me. Like I'm
yeah,
very fulfilled too in all areas
yeah.
of my life." So it's like, we're almost there, Cal.
That's
Hold on
I
a little
hear you.
bit longer.
I hear you. I'm gonna be 39 this year, and I feel the exact same way. And it's genuinely the first time in my life where I can honestly say, like, I'm okay either way.
Right.
And I'm not in a hurry to find
Yeah.
that person because I've said this before, just having been in the wrong relationship for 10 years, like, I would rather wait another 10, 20 years and find someone that truly was a perfect match for me or as close as they could be than waste my time on relationships that weren't it, you know?
Like,
Because I am okay on my own.
mhm.
And so
Yeah,
and I want every woman to get to that place.
absolutely.
What do you feel like you had to work on specifically, like, especially with your coach when you said that she was like, "No, we're not trying to change you or fix you. We're
Yeah.
just trying to help you recognize the parts of yourself that are already extraordinary that we can build on." Like,
Mhm.
what do you think those parts were for you that got you from that point to where you are today?
Um, Good question.
That's okay, take your time.
Yeah,
Like maybe it was your rejection wound, maybe
yeah. No, I think it was. I think it was rejection wound. Even around like career stuff, like I just relaunched even, a few days ago, really.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Just I really I took okay, I'll rewind with this. So I got certified as a health coach in 2013. And
Okay.
first 5 years of my business, I was like working with anybody and everybody. Like, I mean, I was like, and I didn't have any mentorship at that time. I mean, I got,
Yeah.
went through the program, got my certification and everything. And um I was also working a 9 to 5, and I am right now too. But I was working 9 to 5, and like I didn't have necessarily like entrepreneur parents. So I didn't see that model. I didn't see that mindset. And with that being said, I'm like, oh, I have a side hustle. Like my coaching
Mhm,
side hustle. And I even like was a, personal trainer during that time too. But fast forward to like 2017 is or the end of 2017 is when I actually started like reading personal development books, and I started changing like everything. I mean, I left that particular 9 to 5 in the summer of 2017 to pursue the health coaching and the personal training that I was doing. Like I had a decent income enough that I could like pay my bills and live a little.
mhm,
Not a whole lot, but like a little bit.
mhm.
And I had saved, $20,000 or something. So I was like, I think I'm good for a little while. I can't do the
Yeah.
job anymore. And I was at this place where my clients were like, "You're changing my life." And I'm like, okay, I've been at a 9 to 5 for 8 years and I've never heard anybody tell me that. Let's lean into this. And I did. And it was wonderful. So that was like, I started listening to podcasts and reading the personal development books and just really diving into me and like having like a minor spiritual awakening too during that time because I was again so disconnected from my body that I was
Yeah,
disconnected from any higher power really.
yeah, yeah.
But I invested in a kind of like a mastermind kind of program before I did the one-on-one with the business mindset coach, and learned how to really niche down with my business and create digital courses and really how to price your offers and all kinds of like business related. And I
Mhm.
loved it. Like I was like, oh my God, this is great. And then when I hired the business and mindset coach and I worked with her for 4 months, I was like, I had never done mindset work. And I was like,
Mm.
this is what I want to do. I do not want to share a recipe ever again. I don't want to post my workouts and tell people I don't want to write up a workout plan like ever again. Like, and I kind of decided that because I had such a transformation. Granted, I'm sure I really hadn't like embodied it too much or like
Right.
integrated it, but like it was so fresh and like so exciting for me, the transformation that I was feeling on the inside. And I'm like, oh my God, this stuff is so powerful. So I started like changing the scope of my coaching, basically. I mean, the like my social media, like my content and everything. And
Mhm.
my engagement started to go down because people are like, we came here for fitness and nutrition,
Yeah, they're like, "Wait, what is going on?"
not business fits in my mindset. And so that went down, didn't get a client, had to go back into the 9 to 5, which was like totally fine.
But
Um,
still, I'm sure there was at least a party that was like, "Wait, maybe I am not doing the right thing."
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I was just like, I mean, I tried to hold on to the coaching stuff for as long as I could. And my parents were like, oh, you're going to have to move home if you like, because they always threatened me with moving home.
You're like, "You guys are supposed to be the ones saying, 'Hey, you can do this.'"
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they did like help me out a little financially for the first few months because they were like, okay, we'll give you some time. Like, see if you can get it generating again. But it just wasn't. And the 9 to 5 was just, it was, I'm so grateful for it because it paid my bills and
Yeah.
kind of regulated some things. And then the show aired. And, the next year the show aired, everybody in the world saw that I was a health coach because that's how it labeled me on the thing. And I was, mother of God, I can't get away from it. But also I had like, from watching like the first, like, you know, the main parts of the show to our reunion episode, like I had like a 10 to 12 pound weight loss
Oh.
too. Granted, I probably should have leaned into all of that and like really honed in on like the health coaching in a sense, or just health wellness influencer. And this is what I did and all this. And although I shared those stories, um, I was very wrapped up in like, okay, no, like, okay, I can share that stuff. I was very confusing for my audience. Let's put it that way at the end of the day. Like, I'm like, okay, I can help you with this, and I can help you with this, and I can help you with this because I
Yeah.
could. I had all that information. I'm like, okay, you guys want to like business strategy? You want like self love coaching? You want relationship coaching? Like, I got it. I'm all up
Yep.
on it. I've worked with all the coaches. I know my shit.
Yep.
I may not be taking my own advice, but like I know my shit and I can teach you how
But
to.
I can help you for sure.
I can help
Yes.
you for sure. And I did work with a handful of clients and it was beautiful and I met some really incredible women. Um, but it wasn't consistent because my nervous system just wasn't
Ugh.
stable. Like it was
Wow.
because I left that 9 to 5 that was like barely paying my bills. I wound up leaving about a year after the show aired, a little over a year after the show aired. So I was almost there for 2 years, but Valentine's Day 2021, which was like a year to the day that our first episode aired, I had like 2 panic attacks back to back. And
Oh.
I had never had those before and I've never had them again. So I know it was just so stress related. But after the show, like I was still working that 9 to 5. And so I felt like I had like 3 or 4 full-time jobs because I was working all day, coming home, creating content for all the new brand deals that were coming my way, which I'm so grateful for.
Yeah.
But also trying to do my coaching too.
Yeah.
So like I was spread so thin, exhausted that I was like, I don't drink energy drinks. I don't drink coffee. I don't take Adderall. I was doing all the three. Like not all at the same time, but like,
Yeah,
like
but when you needed it.
yeah, when I needed it. And I'm like, I was just bumming Adderall from people and like crash and burn. My adrenals were probably so crazy.
Ugh.
And I just remember like maybe 5 months after the show aired, I was like, I don't want to work my 9 to 5 anymore. Like I can't, I'm so tired. I'm just really,
Yeah.
and then like the energy from social media, just comments and everything. I mean, it probably would have been wise had I just like not been on social media.
Yeah, right, checked out for a bit. Yeah.
But I didn't because I'm like, no, like I have shit to do. Like I have
Yep.
impact to create and everything. And um anyways, with all that said, I used the money from the brand deals. Like in hindsight, I wish that I had taken the money from the brand deals and just lived off of that and left that 9 to 5 because it would have given me so much like freedom.
Yeah.
But I used that money to pay off debt instead.
Wow.
Which helpful. I haven't been I've been debt free since, which is great. Go me.
That's always a good feeling too.
It is a good feeling. But yeah, it was just really heavy for me. But I feel like I did step back into the 9 to 5, another 9 to 5, 2.5 years ago, and that's where I am still today. But I'm so grateful for this job. I mean, I'm in a role where I pretty much create my schedule. I have freedom, location freedom, time freedom in a sense. And I get to be around entrepreneurs every single day because I work with
Mhm.
personal injury attorneys and who
Oh,
own
wow.
firms. So
Wow.
I'm around the energy. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I took time off. Well, back to the coaching stuff, I kind of put some it on the back burner for a little bit a couple years ago. And then I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll do it again. And I released health coaching. And
Mhm.
I got so burned out very quickly. Like, it was like I was saying yes because that's like how people knew me. And
Yeah.
it was more the people pleasing again. I'm like, Kelly, could you
Mhm.
stop and do what you freaking want to do?
Right.
It was so hard, but
Well, and there's part of you too that's like, "Well, I know I'm good at this, so I should be doing it.
yes,
Like,
yes,
what's wrong with me that I don't want to?"
right.
You know?
Yes, exactly. But I had such like the story that I tell myself is like I had such an identity shift from the time that I was like done filming to like the show airing. And like since then, I mean, I continue to work with coaches. So I'm always evolving. I mean, we
Mhm.
all are. But it's like when you really do the subconscious reprogramming work, like you can move mountains really quickly. And
Mm.
like my identity was shifting and I got frustrated because the business, the mindset coaching, that kind of stuff kept coming back to me. Like
Yep.
every 6 months, it's like, why aren't you doing it yet? Why aren't you doing it yet?" And I'm like, okay, is it the actual coaching or do I just feel suppressed because I'm not sharing that information? Like, could I do this in like an influencer kind of way? Do I want to have actual coaching clients? But I don't know, like the last couple of weeks, it's just been on my heart again. I've been, deep in my website and everything. I was like, no, I'm just going to do it. Because if I don't do it, another 6 months is going to come by. And
And you're still gonna be asking yourself, like, "Why am I not doing this right now?"
yeah, yeah, exactly. So again, I just relaunched on Sunday or last Sunday. And I was like, we're just putting it out there. We'll put it out there. And whatever the universe wants for me, but at least I can say that I'm putting it out there and letting
Yes.
people know that this is what I'm doing now.
Yes.
And that's all I can do. So.
No, and that's part of it. It's not like I used to, like, sabotage so many things in my life. I still do, if I'm honest sometimes, but I'm learning that it's not about that big, brave jump that everyone always talks about all the time. Sometimes it's just going, "Okay, I'm a little bit nervous, I'm a little bit scared, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna go ahead and take that next step anyway," and then
Yeah.
just keep taking those small steps to see how this plays out, you know?
Mhm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's where I'm at.
Good.
Eventually I will want to I want to be doing things like just growing my brand and
Yeah.
obviously not in the 9 to 5, although it's so great. And I don't wanna be spread thin, and the only thing that I feel now is, like, there's definitely, like, an energy disconnect because I'm talking about one thing, although with high-minded individuals every day, I'm talking about one thing, whereas I wanna be talking about this every
Yeah.
So there's, like, this energy that I have to, like, show up
Yeah.
with, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's one of the only things that I'm like, "Okay, like, this isn't necessarily serving me," but until I start kind of acquiring more, income from
Right.
the thing, then I'm not gonna make that jump. So,
No, honestly, safety net goes a long way.
like,
Like,
we've messed up the nervous system multiple times before, we don't wanna do it again, so.
so I wanna talk about just a little bit before we, wrap up here, but I wanna talk a little bit about practices or tools that you have for helping with nervous system work.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of on that journey, and I've kind of cultivated just like a much more peaceful part of myself on the inside, and I listen to my body more and I pay attention to it more, and um but sometimes I'm not even sure exactly what I did to get here.
Same.
So I wonder for like anyone who's listening that's like, I know I need to work on that. Are there specific things that you do like with that work that helps you every single day?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, connecting to your breath, I feel like is like the
Mm,
biggest thing. I mean, even if it's just like and just slowing down because we just aren't. And our nervous system is like a
yeah.
pinball machine. And so if we could just like presence ourselves, I feel like, well, yes, presencing yourself with breath work, gratitude practices are one of my favorite
Me
tools.
too. I actually do a lot of that too.
Yeah, and, like, I would say, like, even, like, getting out of your house and, like, going for a walk. I mean, I always tell people, like, outside is my church. It's, like, where I just connect with everything, and I don't listen like, I rarely am listening to something. I'm just listening to the air blow through the trees, like,
Oof.
birds chirping. Like, it's very therapeutic for me to just go for a walk, and I'm not even speed walking. I'm leisurely going for a stroll. It might take me an hour and a half, and I'm just going. Um, but it is, something I just it's like you stop and smell the flowers, and I walk really slow, but even doing that, you miss things. And so there will be times like, last week, I think I was on my walk and stopped in front of this, like, hedge, felt just like this, like, God was like, "Stop here." Like,
Yep.
no reason. And I turned and looked at the bush, and there was a little spider in the spider web that I would never have noticed had I not stopped. 'Cause it was like, they're silky, like, you can't see their spider web sometimes, right? And it's like
Uh-huh,
and it
uh-huh.
was so, like, tiny and, like, camouflage and I was like, "Thank you, God, for showing me that."
Yeah.
And it was just gratitude. It's like,
Aw.
wow, and I'll say those things while I'm on my walk, like, "Thank you for" I'm so grateful for that really plush grass that I get to, like, witness such greenery around the, like, blue sky, like, how cool is that? Or, like, how how did, like, the universe or God make that flower yellow? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, you just get really curious about nature and it
Yeah.
presences you. So,
I
like,
couldn't agree more.
yeah, like, anything you can do to presence yourself, and gratitude is something that really helps you do that. Another thing, like, I did get certified in, like, hypnosis and NLP.
Oh.
Granted, I'll say that and, like, emotional freedom techniques. I loved EFT. I loved tapping when I was going through the program. I can't say that although I'm certified, I would need my manual to, like, do it. I don't every day. But that is something, like, I'll go to YouTube and, like, search, like, EFT, like, tapping videos around
Hmm.
abundance or around anxiety or whatever, and I will do those. And I might just do, like, 5-minute tapping video, and I'll just go and I search for those. And so those are it's not like a daily practice, but it is something that has helped me, and again, it presences you. And
Mhm.
really, like, anxiety, like, they don't exist if you're being present.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. I love that so much. Thank you for those tips too. That's why I said sometimes I realize, like, I'm doing the right things without
Yeah.
even realizing that they were the right things, but you just kinda pick up stuff as you go along, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But okay, I've got 2 more questions. One, if you could go back to the younger version of yourself, whether it's, 20-year-old Kelly going through the hard stuff that you were going through then, um, just knowing where you are now as the woman that you are now, is there any advice that you would give her?
Go to therapy.
Yeah, seriously, seriously. Same, same.
Work with someone. Like, back then, like, even if, I feel like there's generations that think that therapy, like, "Oh, there must be something wrong with you to have
Uh-huh.
therapy," and that was the idea, behind it. But I believe just like I do coaching now, it's like I have gained so many tools that have prepared me for things. And so
Mhm.
you could have whether it's a life coach, relationship coach, self-love coach, whoever, financial coach even. Like, if you can hire those people or just consume their content, if you're 20 years old and you don't have a job, well, you may not be able to afford that right now.
Right.
There's so many free resources. There's TikTok, there's Instagram. Like, people are like, I learned so much just through those resources or YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Just or read a personal development book, listen to one. Like, so many free resources where you can actually consume the content that a coach would offer you.
Amen.
Or, you know, but also, like, therapy, and therapists are going to give you tools also so that when you get in situations, you'll know how to navigate it better versus like, this happened to me. Can I have the tools now so it doesn't
Yeah.
happen again?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so that would be my biggest advice, honestly, is just and love yourself. But if you don't, you're not conscious that you're not loving yourself until it's brought to your attention that
Yeah.
you're not,
Yeah.
so I can't say,
Most the
"Don't love
time, yeah.
yourself." Like, it's just and many people, I remember, like, saying things like that, like, like self-love, preaching self-love, a few years ago, and people were like, "I don't know what that means." I'm
Yeah.
like, I know.
I
I
kind of think, like, for me, my version of self-love was grace, like, having
Yeah.
just a lot of compassion and grace for myself,
Yeah.
and doing that, releasing the cruel things that I thought about myself and believed about myself, like, just transformed my, like, spirit, I feel like, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, too, just the work, I've been able to take more responsibility for things. Even the, situationship of, going back and forth the last 5 years or relationship, whatever it was, like, it's like, I know, like, I take my part in that.
Mhm,
Like, I know that I could have had better boundaries, and then
mhm.
back and forth would never have happened, I
Yeah,
was really
yeah,
loving myself and knew my worth and was in that power, I wouldn't have accepted that,
yeah,
So I do take I take responsibility for my part in that, and I think that that is a part of the healing process too, when you're like, "Okay, like, I own up to certain things that I
yeah.
avoided," but
Yeah, and I agree, and I think having grace and compassion for yourself helps you get to a place where you can truly look at yourself, like, in the mirror
yeah.
without, like, shying away from it or running away from it, right?
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Another thing I was gonna suggest too is just, like, journaling.
Yes.
Journaling so helpful.
It is so helpful. Or, like, for me, a huge outlet for me was my social media, just writing, like, in
Yeah.
general.
Mm.
Like, and I kind of use my social media as a journal.
Yeah.
So that kind of is my journaling,
Yeah,
but I
I love
just share
it.
it. I just share it because I'm expressing and feeling and releasing it for myself, and then it always seems to help somebody else that's like, "Oh, I feel the same way too." And
Yeah,
that for me has been so rewarding.
I agree. Yeah. It is because you're sharing parts of you that's so vulnerable, and it's a healing opportunity for other people or to see
Yeah.
themselves within your words, and in your situation.
Okay, and then last question I have for you is what just in case there are any male listeners here,
Yeah.
what are you if when you find the right person or when you feel like you've found the right person, what are you looking for?
If there's any male listeners who wanna date me,
What are you looking for?
um, I okay, so obviously, like, emotionally intelligent, emotionally disciplined, loyal, of course,
Right.
very compassionate to others, to themselves, takes accountability, someone like I do like as far as like love languages, I love people who like I mean my love language is quality time.
Yeah.
As long as you want to be with me, like I don't care if we're just sitting on my couch. Like I love quality time, having conversations, deep conversations, surface level. It doesn't matter as long as we're having them. I love that. But someone that can go deep with me. I do
Yeah.
really enjoy vulnerable and storytelling. Like I just really enjoyed that. I want someone who is entrepreneurial minded,
Mhm.
most likely an entrepreneur too,
Yeah. Yep.
or has that spirit and that ambition to want to create something. Because I feel like I mean, and I'm a manifesting generator. I think of ideas all the time, and I'm like, okay, how can I execute this so quickly so that I can make it happen? Because otherwise, it ain't gonna happen. And just real fleeting thought again.
Maybe that's the trick that I need to pick up on.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but what else? That is going to be I mean, I want someone that's financially secure, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's nothing
But
wrong with that. It doesn't
yeah,
make you a gold digger. It's like
no, no.
it's a mindset thing,
It is.
honestly.
Yes, yes. It is a mindset thing. Because there's a lot of, quote unquote rich people who don't have a great wealth mindset.
Yeah.
I want them to have a very similar mindset as me. I was doing an exercise recently, and this guy was like, okay, how quickly do you think you can acquire $1,000, $5,000, $10,000? And he was like going up and up and up, right? $1 million, $50 million, $100 million. I stopped at 50 million. I am real far away from that financially. And I was
I
like,
would have stopped at like 10,000.
yeah. I'm
I
like,
think I need to do some mindset coaching.
I just like the reason, and it was funny because he goes, wherever you stopped, there's your block. Like that's it. And I was like, okay, how did I get to 50 million? But I was just like, I know a lot of people. Like if I threw up a GoFundMe and like if I just needed an emergency, like guys, I would just blast my contact list. I would send out all the Facebook messages, Instagram, GoFundMe. I don't know. I would be like, hey, can you tell your friend to tell a friend to tell a friend?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like, I feel like it could happen. And now I'm like working with all these entrepreneurs. I'm like, okay, like they sponsor events all the time for like thousands of dollars. There we go. My mind just went
Facts.
into like this like overdrive of like, I think this could actually be easy to,
Yeah.
but it's fascinating. Anyways, I want someone with a very similar mindset. And again, just ambitious, loving, caring, funny. I want
Yeah.
to laugh
Yeah. Yeah.
at someone.
I think that's huge too.
Yeah. And I like going out and like exploring restaurants, although I have so many dietary restrictions. Uh, but I just love like there was a time maybe when I was like 15 that I was like I would love to be like a restaurant owner because I would love to like have just like a vibey, sexy
Yeah.
thing. But then I was like, but do I actually want to own the restaurant? Like you gotta be there like all the time, and no, I don't want
You're
to
like,
do
I
that.
want to own it, but not be involved.
Yeah, right.
Except for when I
Exactly.
want to be social.
Yeah, yeah. But I think I don't know. I just love restaurants and like their aesthetic, very vibey, sexy. The way people just, I don't know. Like it's
Oh, hey, maybe that's
crap.
the next thing. You never
You
know.
never
You just
know.
never
I
know.
know.
I'll come. I'll come to your opening.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I want someone who makes me feel really safe.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it boils down to, I think, too. For me, that's my first and foremost.
Yeah.
It's, do I feel safe with you? Is my nervous system calm when I'm around
Correct.
you?
Yes.
Because that was the thing I ignored in every other relationship I ever had, and the thing that always ended up being the reason it ended,
Right.
because they weren't safe.
Yeah.
And if I could go back, whew, if I could go back. But
Yeah.
now that we're here,
Yeah.
that's my first two.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. Well, it was so awesome chatting with you. And I'm so proud of you too, by the way, just like how far you've come. And like, obviously, I didn't see your journey before, but knowing now what I know, it takes so much resilience and so much strength and like
Yeah.
so much work and inner work to just keep going and keep believing in yourself and keep striving and to be vulnerable and real and authentic. And you are so authentic. And I love that about you. And so I'm so honored to have you today. And I'm so grateful that you took the time for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks. I'm glad that I shared your post.
Me too. Me too. And we will keep in touch for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.